Hello, welcome to those of you that have never seen me before, and welcome back to those of you that have. I don't know how to start these videos. I'm still workshopping that one, but we're here now. So this week there was a brand new pattern that was basically everywhere. At least it was for me. It was all over my socials, and it is the new Tilly and the Buttons Samara Blouse sewing pattern. So this week's video is going to be all about that blouse and my thoughts on it. And spoiler alert, I have made one. I am wearing it. So I'm going to talk to you about, my thoughts, how it was to sew, what fabrics you could use, that kind of thing. So that's what this video is going to be about. But firstly, I just want to say thank you so much for all of the support from my first video that I put out last week. I've had so many comments, so many DMs, so much kindness that it was actually like a bit overwhelming, because putting out a video, like I wouldn't say I was nervous about it, but also like I've never done it before. So I was once told that nerves and excitement, your body reacts the same way. Like you get those like butterfly feelings. I kind of had that. So I don't think it was nerves. It was more like anticipation to releasing that video. Like I just didn't know how it was going to go, what it was going to be like. So yeah. And then when there was loads of support for it and you guys seemed to love it, it was like, wow, okay. And then I get a bit of like, I guess it's like imposter syndrome. And I'm kind of like, oh God, like I don't know where that's come from. But yeah, thank you. It was really reassuring, because now I'm like, okay, so people enjoy that. They didn't find it boring, because that's my main thing. I don't want to be boring. No one wants to be boring. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. And yeah, thanks for the little boost, I guess. It felt like a little like personalized pep talk, where it was like, yeah, no, you could do this. So thanks. I'm back, I'm here, and this is my second video, so this is exciting. So enough of me waffling. I should probably just get on with the reason you're probably here and wanting to watch this, which is the new Tilly and the Buttons Samara. So I will put a proper picture of it up on the screen, because I'm aware that this is back to front for you. It's mirrored, isn't it? But basically it's a V-neck blouse. So I'm just going to read the little blurb thing on the back. So it's an ideal sewing project for beginners, which I can definitely confirm to be true. Samara is an easy breezy top that's quick and simple to make. It has a modern relaxed fit with a V neckline, drop shoulders, 4 sleeve styles and 2 hemline to choose from. Our easy to follow photo instructions will guide you through each step of the way, which is true for all Tilly patterns. Their instructions are hands down the best that I've ever come across. These are the patterns in the shop, which are just behind me here. These are the ones that I always recommend to beginners or anybody that's a little bit nervous to start and you really want guidance. The instructions in this are amazing, and they've got loads online. They've got a blog. I think they might have a YouTube. They have videos that, yeah, they really hold your hand, their instructions, which I think is great. So the pattern itself, it is really nice and straightforward. So as you can see, I have already made it. So I don't know if you're going to be able to, if I step back far enough. So I have tucked it in. I think it's cute. I think it's a cute, like everyday throw it on blouse. It is very much my kind of style. I like simplicity, and this is exactly that. If you're into things that are really complex, and it's probably not for you, but I like simple, straightforward, everyday kind of clothes. So my thoughts on this. So I'm going to start with sizing. So typically I am a UK size 12 to 14. In Tilly patterns, I personally find that Tilly patterns do tend to come up a little bit bigger. So I will normally, what I do is a UK 12, which is a Tilly 4. I make samples, which you can see here, for the shop. So these samples I do straight out the packet as the instructions tell you, because the idea with the samples is that anyone that's coming in to have a look, you've got a sample to see, because I often think that the pictures on the front of patterns never do it justice ever, and it can be hard to envision what the patterns are actually going to look like once they're made up. So I make these samples to kind of help that. So what was I saying? My mind's gone blank. Yes, so I originally made a Tilly Samara. I've got it here. Let me step back. This is the UK size 12 straight out of the packet. The only thing I did different with this one was lengthen the sleeve slightly, because I'm tall. I'm very tall. I'm 5'11" and a half on a good day. And I have quite long arms, so I tend to have to lengthen the sleeves. So although, yes, these samples are for the shop and I like to do them as a straight size, I also use them as a guidance for me and for any changes that I'm going to need to make if I want to make a version for myself to wear. So with this one, this was a UK size 12, but I extended the sleeves by, I think it was 1.5 inches or 2 inches. But what I found was this came up really quite big. I will put it on for you later so that you can see what I mean by too big, but it might be that just my measurements are slightly off, because like I said, a 4, which is a UK 12 in Tilly patterns, that's where my measurements put me. But the finished garment measurements are substantially bigger, because it's meant to be loose. It's meant to be flowy, easy breezy kind of fit. But for me, at least, it was too flowy. My measurements are a bit skew if, as in I don't fit into these, because I don't know what it is. Is it narrow shouldered? Basically, I've got small shoulders. I don't really know what it is. Like my shoulders, I'm not broad. I've got quite a small chest. It's like, this is all quite small, but then my waist is not, I wouldn't say big, but bigger than my shoulders. And I don't know. I do find a lot of clothes are loose on my shoulders. So I don't know if that means I'm narrow shouldered. I've heard narrow shouldered before. I feel like that's what I am, but I don't actually know. But I found that the UK 12 was like huge up here on me. It was like falling off. I'm trying to do this so that the mic doesn't get twisted, but it was falling off. You can see here, this is still quite loose on me, and this is a graded version. But the UK 12, it fit my hips. It wasn't tight on my hips. So yes, it is nice, but for me, the straight size didn't fit particularly well. But that meant, from doing that sample, I knew what changes I needed to make one that would actually fit me a bit better. I mean, it's not perfect, I know that, but it does fit me better. So with this one, I did a 2, which is a UK 8, which blows my mind. This is why you should never pay any attention to the like clothes size, because I am not an 8. No part of me looks like I'd be a size 8. But I'll take it. But I graded basically all of the top half. So the shoulder sleeves, shoulder seams, the facing, the sleeves. Yeah, I did the sleeves as well. I put all of that to a 12. And then from the side seam, from around, there's a waist notch, because also I knew it was too big across my chest. So I wanted that to be a 12, to be the 8. But my hip still needed to be a 12. So I had to grade from an 8 to a 12 on my hips, because actually, if I undo this, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but the hip on this, like, it's not that loose. So I did the hip length as well. Can you see, like, it's not tight, but like if I'd graded that to a 8 here, it would have been way too tight on my hips. So yeah, I don't know what that is. I feel like it's a me problem rather than the pattern problem. So yes, a 2/UK size 8 on the top, and then graded to a 12/4 on the hips to get it to fit. That was the sizing. I didn't extend the sleeves like I did on the sample, because I actually found the sleeves, I extended these by 1.5 or 2 inches, I can't remember. They were too long, which is quite rare. Never find sleeves are too long. So I didn't bother extending the sleeves on this, but I'm not overly happy with the leg. I like a long sleeve, and you see, like, as I'm moving, that's getting further down my wrist, and I find that annoying. I want it here. So 1.5 to 2 inches was too long. So I think maybe the next one I would extend it by 1 inch, and hope that that's right, because I love an elasticated cuff. Absolutely love them. They're like my favourite sleeve styles because they're so easy to sew, and I just think they look cute. I think they look so cute. I like a big baggy kind of style. So is that what I was going to say? What I'm going to do now actually is I'm going to put this on, because I feel like that's going to help explain what I mean. So pay attention to this about how this one fits me. Hang on, that's falling off the table here. So you can see it's fits up here. It is still slightly loose. I'll get my hair out of the way. It is still slightly loose around the neck, but it's not falling off my shoulder or anything like that. So yeah, I'll put this one on so that you can see. Okay, so here we are. This is the straight size UK 12, which is the Tilly 4. If I step back far enough, hopefully you can see. So I did the hip length, but it's just, can you see? It's just too big. So you can see the length of the sleeve. This is the one I extended. I've extended it too far. It's just too much at the bottom there. But it's this that was bothering me. Like, it's just so loose on me. But like I said, I don't know that this is necessarily the pattern problem. I think it's me. I think I'm small up here and then wider on my hips, but it's just miles too big. So the blue one I was wearing has been taken in to kind of fit better. But I do really like the V-neck, and that was the other thing when I put this on. I thought, God, it's really quite low cut, and I'm not about that. There's nothing there. So yeah. The other thing to say is this is made in a polyester. It's polyester, but it's very much like a viscose. So you can see it drapes really, really nicely. You see that? I do really like the feel of this one. It's just too big. I think if I make another one, I would do it in a viscose like this sort of like silky kind of fabric, because it feels really nice, but it's just, yeah, miles too big. So let me go and get changed again so I can put something a little bit more comfortable on. Right, that is better, much more comfortable. So in terms of how I found sewing it, it's really good. So easy, perfect for beginners, perfect for beginners, because it is so straightforward. But also, if you're not a beginner, you might be something a bit like me, because I love an easy, quick, satisfying sew. I am not someone that takes on projects that you're going to have to continue to keep going back to, and it's going to take weeks. It's just not for me. I need like instant gratification when I'm sewing, because also just I get bored, I lose interest, and I just won't finish it. I am someone, I do have a pile of things that I've started and never finished because they didn't come together quick enough for me. I need like instant satisfaction. So for me, this is perfect. I love something that's quick to sew. So although yes, it's perfect for beginners, if you are someone that's a bit more experienced, don't let that put you off, because it's quite a nice like palette cleanser. If you have been doing a project that has taken you weeks or months and you just need something instant, this is the perfect pattern for that. Absolutely perfect. I found I've already said this, but the instructions are great. 10, like honestly amazing, the instructions, but it is really straightforward. There's only 4 or 5 pattern pieces. You've got the front, the back, the sleeves. If you choose to do it, you don't have to do the sleeves because you've got a drop shoulder, so you can just have it here. So that's just the front, the back. Then there's a facing, so 1, 2, yeah, there's 5 or 4 if you don't do the sleeve pattern pieces. So it takes no time to cut out, which for me, again, perfect, because I don't like cutting out either. I find that incredibly boring. So this really is perfect for me. Putting it together is really straightforward. The only maybe slightly tricky, but I mean, it's not tricky, but the trickier bit of the whole pattern would be the V-neck. But they explain how to do it. You have to mark a little point of the V and you use that as your like pivot point when you're sewing down it and attaching the facing to the front. I mean, I guess that bit could be slightly trickier, but that's it. Everything else is just straightforward sewing. I've already said that I love an elasticated sleeve. Absolutely love them. And yeah, really, really easy. I mean, the instructions tell you that you need, let me check, 20mm wide. You don't. I mean, I don't. I used 10mm, so a centimetre wide. And I prefer that. I don't like a big, thick elastic in the cuff. I like something small. So that's up to you what you do. But yeah, I did the 10mm and I think it feels nicer because the 20mm can be kind of heavy and like chunky, and I don't like the feel of that. So yeah, I'm trying to think, what else did I do differently? I don't think I did. I tried to follow the pattern as much as I could. I did the hip length, so it comes in 2 lengths. It comes in a crop length and a hip length. Everything these days coming in a crop length, but for me that doesn't work because, like I said, I'm tall, so I'm 5'11", and a traditional cropped is way more cropped on me than it's intended to be for like a standard sized person. So this is the hip length. Obviously I've got it tucked in, but it does come to my hips, whereas the cropped, to be fair, I think the crop probably would only come to where I've got it tucked in, but I also don't want to have my stomach flapping about. It's just not for me, but it does come in 2 lengths if you do want the cropped length. But obviously you can make it whatever length you want. You don't have to have the instructions telling you. You can make it longer, shorter, whatever you want. But yeah, overall, I really liked it. Really liked the pattern. I definitely will be making more. I feel like depending what fabric you use, it will look completely different as well. So I want to play around and choose different fabrics and see kind of how it turns out, because this fabric that I'm wearing is a viscose polyester mix, I think. But saying that, it actually feels more like a cotton. So the pink one that I showed you is very silky and that like satiny finish to it. So it like slips and it moves and it drapes really, really nicely. This has a bit more body. It's not structured like a cotton, but it has a bit more body than that. It doesn't flop around, if you know what I mean. But I actually do like the look of the ones that flop around. So yeah, but I do like it. I think it's very cute and it's a good everyday. So this is the check, which you can see here. So it's a blue and white check. This actually comes in pink as well. And I was like, oh, I don't know which colour to do, because the pink is it's a really nice, like dusky pink, but I wasn't sure if that colour would really suit me. So I went with the blue, but yeah, I'm happy with it. So now I'm going to talk you through some fabric suggestions. I think that's what I'm going to do. Is that what I'm going to do? No, what I'm going to do, scrap that, is talk to you about the project boxes that we sell as well, because we have got a Samara project box. I don't know if you can see that. So these project boxes, I started them a couple of years ago and they're always really popular, and I try, when there's a new pattern that comes out, I really do try and make a project box for them, because they're a really good way of getting a new pattern, because you get everything inside the box that you need to make the pattern. So I'm going to show you. So first of all, they come in these really cute pink boxes, which you can use to obviously hold your project together as you're sewing it, and then you can use it for storage and things like that. Obviously you can recycle it as well if you don't want to, but I like pink, so I'm happy with the pink box. The first thing you get is a little project box flyer thing with a little blurb on the back there from me, and you obviously get the pattern. So in this case, this is the Samara pattern. Then you get everything you need to make the project. So first things first, let's show you the fabric. So in this one it is the green cotton gingham. So this is the small cotton gingham in the sage green, which is by far the best seller. Honestly, I think I've sold more of this than I've sold of anything else in the shop for the entire time I've been here. It's always popular. It's a really nice colour, so I do understand why. So you get 2.4 meters of this, which is enough for the largest size and the highest fabric option, if that makes sense. So with this case, you get, it's the hip length with the sleeve in the largest size. So that is the most amount of fabric you would need to make the pattern. You get that in the fabric. So yeah, 2.4 meters of that. Then you also get any notions that you might need. So in this one, you need interfacing for the facing. So you get, I think, I can't remember, but I think it's 0.5 meter of interfacing and some elastic for the cuffs, which is optional, but you get it in the box anyway, and a coordinating thread. So you get all of that in these boxes, but the boxes have a saving. So you might be thinking, oh, why get a box? Like, because you are more limited on fabric choices because I've put them together, so I've chosen the fabric. So they might not always be to your taste, but there's a discount, which is why it's a good way of buying it if there is one that you like, because you save 10% or more. Generally I round up, so over 10%, compared to buying all of the bits separately if you buy a project box. And that's the same for all of the project boxes. There's always going to be a saving of at least 10%. So yeah, they're a really, really good way of getting a new pattern, starting a new project, but they're also a really good gift. So bear that in mind, because they're always very popular at Christmas, because you can literally send the link to the one that you want to your loved one as a hint of what you might like as a present. Because yeah, they don't have to do anything. It's all done for them. They just can click pay and it's all done. So yeah, they're the project boxes. So now I am going to grab a few different fabrics and show you ones that I think would work really well for the Samara blouse. Okay, so if you are a beginner and you're having a go at this pattern, I would suggest sticking to a cotton fabric, just because it's the easiest type of fabric to handle for a beginner. It doesn't slip around too much. It's not going to move when you're sewing it. You can kind of rely on it. It's a really good beginner's fabric. I mean, obviously, everything I say, you don't have to be a beginner to use it, but I'm just saying that if you are a beginner, that's kind of where I'd start and then go up, because if you go straight in with a viscose, you might find it slips and then you get annoyed and then you kind of give up, and you don't want that. You just want something that's satisfying. So yeah, I'd stick with a cotton. So any of the fabrics that I showed in last week's video are going to be absolutely perfect, because all of those were either cotton poplins or cotton chambrays, and they would be perfect. But because I've already shown you them, I'm not going to show you again. But if you're curious, then yeah, go back to last week's video, because all of those fabrics would be absolutely ideal. But for now, I've just grabbed two different cotton ones. So this one here is a cotton lawn. How pretty is that? Bring it up so you can see. So this always gets a lot of attention in the shop. It's not a Liberty. It is not Liberty design. It does look like it, but it's not, which means it doesn't have the price tag of Liberty, which I think is great, because it can be so expensive, can't it? But this is a cotton lawn. It's, what have I called it? I've called it Betsy because it does look like Liberty, but it's not. But it's a cotton lawn, so it has got a bit of movement to it. Can you see that? So it's not like super rigid. It has got movement to it. So I think the blouse would hang quite nicely in this. It's not going to be really flowy like the pink one that I showed you earlier, but it's also not going to be stiff, if that makes sense. But yeah, really, really pretty. I know that everyone just loves this design. I think this might be like the third time I've had this one in. It's always so popular. And yeah, I love it. I made a sample for the shop. I'm looking over there because it's in the window currently, out of this. And I made, it was a Tilly and the Buttons pattern actually. It was the Tilly and the Buttons Marnie dress, and it looks really cute, but can't show you because it's on a mannequin in the window. And then the other one, cotton, although it's not actually cotton, I am lying. It's not a cotton, it's a polyester, I believe. Oh no, I'm not fully lying. It's 80% polyester, 20% cotton. So it has got cotton in it, but it is majority polyester, but it feels like a cotton, which is why I would just say it is. How cute. I think for summer, that as a blouse, adorable. It's so, so cute. So it's a white background with these blue printed kind of daisy style flowers. I step back so you can see like the overall print. And again, it's the same as the other one where it has got a bit of movement. I think because it's got the polyester in it, that's what makes it have a little bit of drape. I mean, it's not got loads, but it's not super stiff, like I was saying, whereas the cotton poplins are going to be stiffer than this. So it's got that movement, but I think really cute for summer. And if I bring it up again, actually, because the texture of the white is kind of like a linen. Can you see? It's got that texture here, which, yeah, it feels a bit like a linen, which I just think is, yeah, perfect for summer. Actually, it goes with what I'm wearing, doesn't it? It's the same sort of colours. So, yeah, both of those would be absolutely perfect. So I'm now going to go and grab some viscose fabrics because I personally love viscose. If you haven't been able to tell, it's my favourite fabric to work with. And yeah, I think it works really well with the Samara. So I'm going to go and grab a few that I love. Right, so the first viscose that I have grabbed is one that I actually considered using to make the sample for the shop. I love it. So this is the Crafty Pie Floral Gingham viscose. It comes in two colourways. This is the pink. So it's a kind of like, I don't know if that's showing up, it's more like a raspberry pink, like a deep raspberry pink gingham with these bunches of white flowers printed all over it. I just think it's so cute, and it's quite different actually. But it is a viscose, which means it has got so much drape and movement. Look at that. So I think this would work really, really well for the this Samara blouse because it will hang really nicely. And yeah, like I said, this was a close contender for what I was going to make the sample for the shop in. So this also comes in a navy blue. If you're not a pink kind of girl, it comes in navy as well, which actually is probably more what I personally would wear. I think it's like a classic. So you've got the navy gingham, which I just, yeah, it's just a classic print, isn't it? But then it's got this white floral design printed on it, which just makes it a little bit different. Really cute, I think. And then I also have picked up this one here, which is called Tiny Leaves. It comes in a number of different colours, but I've just grabbed this one. This is the teal colourway. I bring it up. It's got all these really small little white leaves all over it. The leaves have also got a little bit of yellow running through them, but I will say teal is one of those colours that it's impossible to get right on camera. That doesn't look like it looks in person. It's slightly more green in person. That looks quite dark. It's slightly greener, like a true teal colour. Again, it will be just as drapey as the other ones, which means like the sleeves are going to hang really nicely. Really, really cute. But this comes in a number of different colours, which I haven't pulled out to show you, but there's a lighter blue, there's a navy blue. I feel like there's other colours, but I can't remember. But they're all called Tiny Leaves, but they're just different colours. Then the final one that I have grabbed to show you is an animal print. And I know animal print isn't for everyone. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but it is mine. I love animal print. I absolutely love it. So I've picked the neutral colourway, because if you're not really into bright colours and things like that, you're not going to wear the pinks. But this, it's neutral. I firmly believe that a leopard print is a neutral. I'm firmly in that camp. So it's again, that's really annoying because it's not showing up the true colour. I've got a big window in the shop and the sun is currently shining through it, and I think it's distorting the colours a bit. It's warmer than what it's coming up on screen, I think. So the background is this really nice sort of tan brown colour, and then the actual leopard print is a brown, but that's showing quite cool on screen, and it's not. It is much warmer than that. You're just going to have to trust me. But it's a viscose, so it's one of those viscoses that's not super shiny. It's softer than that, so it's not that like silky shiny type of viscose that like the pink one I was wearing earlier. It's not like that. It is softer than that, but it's still really, really pretty, and it has loads of drape to it. But I don't know whether maybe you can see. It's almost matte is how I would describe the finish on this. It's like a matte, but super, super soft. Don't get me wrong, it is really, really soft, but it's just not got that sheen that some viscoses have. I don't actually know why some viscoses have different finishes to others, because they're still made of the same thing. I don't actually know the answer to that, and I probably should, but I don't. But yeah, this is one of those. But those are my 4 viscose selections. So yeah, there's obviously so many different fabrics that you can use for these, but they're the ones that like jumped out at me when I was looking on the shelf. I thought, oh, I like them. In fact, this one, now I've looked at it, I'm like, I think that might be my next version. I really like that. Because I'm not going to lie, I am someone that when a new pattern comes out, I can't just make one. I have to make like an excessive amount. That's not true, not an excessive amount, but I will. So this is obviously the second, but then the first one doesn't really count because it didn't fit. This is the second one, which still isn't perfect because I'd like to extend the sleeves, because this is annoying me, because every time I move my arms, so I can pull it down, but every time I move my arms around, it comes back to slightly too short, and that's annoying. So I want to make the sleeves longer. So I'm going to definitely going to do another version, and then maybe another version after that, because I know that I would wear this loads. Like, this is fully my style, just tucked into jeans. I'd wear it into work, and yeah, without a doubt, this is my kind of pattern. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you liked those fabrics that I showed you. Don't forget that the project boxes are still very much available. They're a really, really good way of trying out a new pattern, a new to you pattern, because yeah, like I was saying earlier, there is a saving of over 10%. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching this. It's been a longer one than my previous one, so I'm going to try and edit this together and see how it worked. It actually went all right last week, because I mean, obviously, because you saw the video, so it must have gone well, but editing isn't as complicated as I thought it might be. So yeah, that's it. I hope you'll have a great rest of your week. Everything that I've shown you is available on the website, and yeah, I'll see you next time for my next video.